Hi everyone, welcome back to No Ghostwriter. I am your host, Blessing Makosha. Make sure that you follow no_ghostwriter on Twitter and Instagram, and follow No Ghostwriter on TikTok. We're posting rap videos, daily content, playlists, and more. And we also have a monthly live rap cypher event that you are welcome to attend in person or to watch online. Join the No Ghostwriter Patreon to get access to extended behind the scenes and early access content, including new music reactions and the full extended version of this video and these kinds of videos. So this is Pen Talk. So on Pen Talk, we get into lyrical analysis and we break down bars. Really, being that this is No Ghostwriter, this is definitely our bag. This is the content that we do the best. So I hope that you enjoy this video and check out our Pen Talk playlist to see the rest of our lyric breakdowns and reactions. So for this week's edition of Pen Talk, we're getting into 4 verses by Che Noir, BIA, Russ, and Chainz. These are all verses that they recently dropped, either within the last few weeks or months. And all of these verses, the thing I like that stands the most about them is that you really hear the lyrical ability, but you also hear the consciousness, and you can hear the fact that these rappers are very conscious about who they are, where they're going, and the intention behind the actions and steps they take. So going into the new year, I think these are rappers that you should be looking at, because if they're rapping like this now, I want to see what they're spitting in 2022. So I hope that you're excited, and if you want to see all of the full reactions with the music, make sure that you join the No Ghostwriter Patreon. Otherwise, we'll get straight into the lyrical breakdown for each verse. So up first, we've got Che Noir, and today we're going to be looking at Bless the Food. This is an upcoming, this is a single from her upcoming album, Food for Thought, which she has confirmed is dropping in 2022 at the start of the year. So this song is all about success and hard work. Che talks about her gratitude to God for receiving what she's prayed for. She's very honest and very candid about what motivates her, and she offers other people who have struggled in similar ways to her, and other people who are still in that struggle, a way to make a productive way out. You know, you can build yourself up and you can escape your situation. That is the story behind this verse. And so Che tells us all about turning her struggle into hustle. So she takes this extremely long verse, all of it is just bars, 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 bars. And she complements it with a talking interlude and a talking outro. So I'm very much excited to get into these bars. Before we get into the bar, let's look at the beat and the producer. So Che Noir is the producer that made this beat. I think that's absolutely incredible. If you actually look up Che Noir's story, she started producing beats, I believe in high school. Someone showed her how to do it, and she's been self-sufficient and able to produce her own beats ever since. She does still have really cool collaborations, but she can produce her own beats. So it's at 150 BPM beat. It's very nostalgic, very much Griselda style, and that makes sense given Che Noir's affiliation with Griselda. And it's an understated beat, but it has a lot of soul. And I like the string and piano key arrangement. I feel like that adds a lot of emotion to the beat, and it complements Che's lyrical performance very, very well. So now let's listen to the beat, and then we're gonna get into the bars. Also, can I just say, I used to stan Shane Ward like hard. I don't even know what's wrong with me. I grew up in England, that's the thing. You guys will never understand what we went through growing up as British kids, so shout out to us.
Yeah. You know, people always ask me what's the key to success, what's my key to success? And I just tell them it's simple, it's prayer and God, hard work, perseverance. It's all food for thought, but you know, before you eat, you gotta bless the food, right? Everything I ever prayed for, I got it. Look, Tattoos on my ribs of Bible scriptures. I always knew what God had for me, but I'm still fighting demon shit like Mortal Kombat to me. Fuck friends, I need more shooters. My losses turn me to a sore loser. Cut from a different cloth, you a poor booster. Can't see my worth unless you know me well. From a lonely hell to make it out was the holy grail. Responsibilities placed on us, we was only 12. Missing school to babysit your siblings and doing ponytails. I keep a sleek, a pair of jeans and sneakers to reach my dreams, but because of my ambition, I don't sleep in peace. I got dreams and visions, my passion poet. But it's tricky when your ambition don't match your focus. Murder was my obsession and nurture was not the message. Heart of a sinner with thoughts of a devil with God's complexion. They tell me, Shay, fix your appearance and shop for dresses. Biggie lyrics, but in the mirror, it's Pac's reflection, yeah. These rappers can't get the crown until we give up. Never trust a team member that always agree with you, or a grown-ass woman that's tryna beef with you, or 40-plus niggas still tryna be street niggas. I was school for this, back when the biggest rapper was Ludacris. My pen was doing voodoo tricks, I cut them off. Held a grudge, I won't lose my grip. Kept my foot 10 toes, rather I lose or win. Voice to the people, stuck with no choices that's legal. Disgusted and hurt by the way the system poisoned my people. Pray to God every day cause I enjoy what is evil. So used to drama in my life, so I destroy what is peaceful. Only thing we strive for is a comfortable living. I come straight up out the struggle, so my hunger is different. Turn my struggle to a hustle, build an empire from it. Turn my struggle to a hustle, build an empire from it, right?
Yeah, it's real. You know, I would say even before I quit it, I realized it's getting real, because I quit it and didn't put no 2 weekend, nothing. I just was like, I know this was before Thriller the Hunt 2 came out. So I was like, oh, I know this probably gonna do something for me. And I got tired of, like, I done had a million jobs, like on and off, just finding jobs, quitting, finding jobs, getting fired. But I don't know, I had this thing in my head, like it was like a month before it was supposed to come out. I was like, this gonna change my life. It's gonna do something for me. So I just took that leap of faith and I quit.
Now let's get into the bars. So the structure of it, like I said, you've got the talking interlude, a long verse, a hook, and then a talking outro. And I really just want to start to just talk about the way she has constructed her rhymes on this. So she's got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At least 8 rhyme schemes in one. So she's got 8 rhymes. And she mixes between end of the bar rhymes, and she also uses internal rhymes. So my favorite ones was, can't see my worth unless you know me well. From a lonely hell to make it out was the holy grail. Responsibilities placed on us, we was only 12. Missing school to babysit your siblings and doing ponytails. That is lyrical mastery. She's used the know me well, but she's rhymed that with so many different things that are very powerful images that communicate what she's trying to tell you about the reality of her struggle. So she's saying know me well, and she's mixed that with lonely hell, and she's mixed that with holy grail, and she's mixed that with only 12, and she's mixed that with ponytails. Know me well, lonely hell, holy grail, only 12, ponytails. And part of it is she does in the second line where she says, from a lonely hell to make it out was the holy grail. She's done 2 rhymes in one bar. Like she's done an internal and one at the end. This is bars, guys. I absolutely love it. I think my second favorite after that one has got to be her final rhyme scheme right at the end, where she says, I was schooled for this. Back when the biggest rapper was Ludacris, my pen was doing voodoo tricks. I cut him off, held a grudge, I won't lose my grip. Kept my foot 10 toes, rather I lose or win. Like, it's just too hard. So she says, school for this. And then she uses that Ludacris and voodoo tricks. So school for this, Ludacris, voodoo tricks. And what's crazy is that she, as in the bar I showed you before, she did 2 in one line. But now she's done 3. I was schooled for this. Back when the biggest rapper was Ludacris, my pen was doing voodoo tricks. That's bars. and then she doesn't let it go because she goes, I won't lose my grip. So she's taken lose my grip and given you a fourth rhyme. School for this, ludicrous, voodoo trick, lose my grip. This is absolutely crazy, and then lose or win to end it and wrap that up. I absolutely love that. So shout out to you, Che Noir. That was some serious bars that you spit on Bless the Food. We are very excited for your upcoming album, Food for Thought. So make sure that you check out Che Noir and show us some love and support her new project. So up next, we've got BIA, and this is her track Motionless, which is the last track on her Deluxe for Certain EP. She released the deluxe edition this winter, so in the last few months of 2022. So she released the deluxe version this year, at the end of the year, to celebrate 1 whole year since she released the EP in 2020. And I love this song. So this song stood out to me immediately because it's the 14th and last track on the deluxe version of For Certain, like I said. And on this track, she talks about her work ethic, her drive, and the emotional cost of pursuing her dreams as a rapper. She really talks about the pressure that's on her shoulders and being better than anything that's really trying to bring her down. On this track, BIA gets very emotional and raw, and she sings the hook, which is quite different from her, especially in comparison to the rest of the tape. I also really found it sweet that BIA was talking about how Motionless was her favorite track on the EP because of the soul in it, and I just wanted to say, yes, BIA, that really translated. And although I'd already planned to pick Motionless to do for this pen talk, you actually tweeted just a few hours before we started recording that this song was your favorite, with the exception of Whole Lot of Money because it changed your life, like you said. But I just wanted to shout out to you and say, like, we are connected because yes, I very much felt your soul in this track. So shout out to you. And before we get into it and listen to the track, let's talk about the beat and the producer. So Aziz the Sheikh and Lil Rich produced this beat. So from his biography, Aziz the Sheikh is a multi-talented artist, producer, engineer, and songwriter from Nashua, which is a city in the Merrimack Valley of New England in Northern America. Lil Rich, Enoch Richard Harris III, is an American record producer and artist. So he's known for his production with many well-known artists, so notably Cousin Stiz, YG, and the City Girls. Rich was born in Harlem in New York and raised in Lowell, Massachusetts, and he created success for himself as a producer by moving to LA in 2018 after he graduated school as an audio engineer. He's also known as the executive producer for Cousin Stiz's debut album, Trying to Find My Next Thrill. So BIA's got some very experienced and well-rounded producers on this beat. I am in love with this beat. This is a beat that I would describe as an open beat. It knocks, and it just allows the rapper to just open up their heart and just pour and pour and pour and pour, and that is exactly what BIA does. And so you have to compliment good production for allowing artists to produce these really, really good songs. So yeah, shout out to Lil Rich and Aziz the Sheikh. This beat is really beautifully done and well produced, and it allows BIA's soul to really come out in the bars. So now let's listen to it and get into it. So before we get into the beat, I just want to say something else about it. It really reminds me of that like Toronto gray sounding music that Drake does on Views. And I think maybe that's why this stood out to me, because yeah, it very much gave me like gray Toronto, cloudy skies energy, because she's being quite, yeah, she's really getting into emotions in this, and I liked the beat, that the beat production showed that. Okay, so let's get into it. So let's get into the bars. So I'm just, BIA did so well on this track, and you can tell that she is a writer because it's a chill flex. And I feel like the way BIA raps is that BIA raps with a chill flex. Like, she's giving you bars, but she doesn't need to punch you in the face, but it's still gonna hit. So in verse 1, she's got many different rhyme schemes. So she has at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, as far as I can count, at least 7. She mixes between end of the line raps, internal raps, and multiple rhyme schemes within one line. So DND, on my weed, distractions. Those are the first rhymes that she sets up in the first line. So she says, I cut my phone on DND while I'm smoking on my weed just to tune out my distractions. So she's now introducing you the 2 rhymes. She already did DND on my weed, so she's done an internal rhyme as the first half of the bar. So she starts her first line of her first verse with 2 rhymes within a line, and then she says distraction. So she's giving you 3 rhymes in 1 line, and then from there she introduced a third rhyme scheme with don't you short me on my change when it come to getting paid. And then she says, I don't really care what happened. So she finishes the rhyme from that first line. So the second rhyme that she introduced with distractions, she finishes it on the third line with happen. But she's also introduced a third rhyme scheme with change and paid. So she's currently got all of this going on. She keeps the distraction happen rhyme scheme, but she gives us another 4th rhyme scheme with friends in my ends. So she says, I would have had a lot more friends in my ends if it wasn't for me rapping. So she's done DND on my weed, change, paid, friends, ends, but she's still continuing with distractions, happen, rapping, napping. This is hard. Like, BIA is really doing some serious pen game right now. And so she continues, we both had the same 24, but I'd rather get mine instead of napping. So she's doing napping to continue that distractions rhyme scheme. But she's added a 5th rhyme scheme with 24. And she continues that with 24, hating me for, me more, wood on the floor, me for. And she adds a 6th rhyme scheme with brand and fans. So she says, protective over my brand, keep meeting my fans. So that is a 6th internal rhyme scheme that she's got going on. And then she does team members, bring them up, bring them up. So members, it's more like repetition for the last part. It's less wordplay. It's more repeating to like emphasize the point. And I loved the construction on this is so tight on the first verse. And she continues that similar style, introducing multiple different rhymes in the second verse. So the rhymes that I really enjoyed was never had a father, would have made it farther, superstar for a daughter, right now I got a caller. Obviously I'm saying this with my accent, so I'm missing some of it, but BIA really, the way she raps it, it rhymes. And then she says, I'm putting family first, so it's gonna cost your ass a coin if you hand me a verse. Yeah, I got love for all my friends, but it's sanity first. I got 99 problems, a fantasy world. She is really, this is lyrical performing, okay? This is lyrical performance. And then she finishes up with, there's no cap in my raps. So this is my favorite part in terms of lyrical construction. There's no cap in my raps. I've been ready for smoke, but still none of these bitches will clap back. So she says cap, raps, clap, back. And she's doing these tight rhymes very close to each other, but she's using each word to continue the rhyme. I wanna slap who all writing your shit. I feel bad for all the people that be liking that shit. So writing your shit, liking that shit, I like that. That reminds me of Barbie Dreams, Nicki on Barbie Dreams. Why you got the fighting and ish? So yeah, I liked that. And BIA, this was really good. I really enjoyed the different wordplay and the flow as well. I haven't talked too much about the flow because she's done so well with these rhyme schemes, but the flow is crazy on this one. Like the flow is really crazy on this one, and she switches it up throughout. So shout out to you, BIA. This was some very hard bars, very good pen talk. All right, up next we have got Russ. So Russ has dropped Chomp Choo. Chomp 2. And on Chomp 2, he has got he's barring everybody to death. I'm not even gonna lie to you right now, but there is a particular track that I really enjoy. It's the opening track of the album. Oh yes, I think it's an album. I think I call it an album. It's the opening track of the album. So on this track, Russ talks about his experience navigating the industry as an independent artist and the outlier that he is. Russ is very well known for having taking an opposing view to much of the traditional things that the industry does, especially in relation to exploitation of artists. And Chomp 2 is very much a statement from a man that says, I have made it and found financial freedom without signing myself away to a record label, and I can show you the way. And Russ is very much a rapper that is trying to show us another way. And if you check out episode 5 of Clout Is Not Currency podcast, which is streaming on No Ghostwriter, you can hear our conversation on Russ and how he is telling people that, look, you don't need to go to labels if you want money, and talking about securing lines of credit to support yourself and your own projects. So Russ is very much talking about a type of way to navigate your rap career that is alternate to the industry. So in that's really what he addresses. And this verse is called Sheep. It's one long verse. There's no hook. It's just bars. And Russ is basically speaking to the fact that in the social media age, with the social media generation, a lot of us are quite like sheep. You know, we're not having independent critical thought. We're not questioning a lot of things. And so that's really what Russ is getting at in this track. So I'm excited to have a look at it. And let's talk about, before we get into the bars, let's talk about the producer. So this album contains so many iconic producers. DJ Premier's on there. And you also have Jake One, who produced this beat. Jake One produced my favorite song. I would say this is top 5, Furthest Thing by Drake. Somewhere between psychotic and iconic, somewhere between I want it and I got it, somewhere between I'm sober and I lifted, somewhere between a mistress and commitment, but I stay down, girl, I always stay down, get down on the lay down. What am I doing? See, Jake One gets me in a mood. So Jake One, Jacob Dutton, is an American hip-hop record producer from Seattle, Washington. His early influences included Pete Rock, Dr. Dre, DJ Premier, and Marley Marl. He was a part of the G-Unit production team, the Money Management Group. His first album, credited to Jake One, White Van Music, was released on October 27, 2008 on Rhymesayers Entertainment, and features contributions from Brother Ali, Young Buck, De La Soul, M.O.P., Freeway, Doom, Slug, and Keek the Sneak. He has had tracks included on soundtracks to films such as Get Rich or Die Trying, The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, and Gone Baby Gone. In 2010, Jake One released 2 collaborative albums, The Stimulus Package with Freeway and Patience with True Live. He also produced Brother Ali's full-length album Morning in America and Dreaming in Color on Rhymesayers Entertainment. So shout out to Jake One. He has produced a lot of crazy things. He's done True Colors by The Weeknd, I Got the Keys, DJ Khaled, My Life, J. Cole, 21 Savage, Can I with Kalani, The Percocet and Stripper Joint by Future, 3 Kings by Rick Ross. He is accomplished, and this beat is cold. Like, this beat is cold. This is the kind of beat where the rapper gets in the booth, says, screw writing this down, I'm freestyling. And that's the kind of rapper that Russ is, and it really comes across. So let's get into the beat. This is very typical Russ, going hard. And Russ had something to prove on Chomp 2, and he wanted you to know that he's just got bars for days, and I think he did that. Let's get into it. Yes, before we play the beat is a very old school knocking beat. It's there to just give you that It's a rapper's beat. And I love it. So I think that it's important that this is the reason why in Pen Talk I want to talk about the producers, because it is important that we talk about the production. The production is extremely important to how these tracks come out. So I just want to talk about the fact that Russ spitting the way he's spitting on Sheep is possible because of the way the beat sounds and how it knocks, and the way it allows all of this energy to come out. So yeah, let's get into it. That was hard. Okay, Mr. Russ. So Russ has got bars for us. So I just want to go through all of his rhyme schemes. So he has, let's talk about the construction of the raps first of all. He's got an intro, one long verse, and then that's it. So let's talk about the rhyme schemes, because he's playing around, and I'm gonna try and count how many rhyme schemes he pulls out in this. So he says, I like all my women to be sex crazed, French braids. Then he goes into a new one. This industry is high school. Men and women still acting like they're in 10th grade. So that's where he's continued that sex crazed rhyme scheme. So you see, he said sex crazed, French braids, 10th grade. And then he says, I don't care what your friends say. So he's keeping that going. I'm legendary. So now he's giving you another one with legendary. I love my girl, but weddings scare me. So legendary, weddings scare me. I can't fight the force. So he's giving you another rhyme here. I can't fight the force. My dad is twice divorced, might be hereditary. So he's gone back to weddings scare me. Legendary, weddings scare me, hereditary. So bataille smoothies with the elderberry. So he's going with that same legendary, wedding scare me, hereditary, elderberry. Y'all not my contemporaries. So he's keeping that rhyme. Y'all temporary. Now he's doing an internal rhyme to continue, because the music ain't even secondary. So now he's still going. And then he goes back. Y'all put the money in the bitches over it. So now he's telling you, he's got another bar for you. So over it, over. Mama gave me motive. Hold on, let me just check, because something is blocking my screen. So he says, you put the monies and the bitches over it, so now you fell off. The bitch is over it, it's over with. So over it, over with. So he's playing with that. And then he says, I'm trying to keep my soul aligned. My mama give me motive, right? So this is where things get confusing, because people be having accents, yeah. So he says, motive, I took her and the family out to Italy. We saw the Dolomites, we saw Venice, we saw Puglia and Tuscany. You may have more money, but you've never left the country. So he's doing like Tuscany, country. And then he opens with a rhetorical question, who's really rich? So who's really rich? They hit us and say, oh, Russ can sing, but he can really spit. Cold-blooded, I'm amphibious. There's women that I've never shared a meal with that think we share feelings. Keep it real, bitch. You know what it was, told your ass from the jump. So now he's taking it a different way, but really rich, really spit, amphibious, meal with, real bitch. And then he says, you know what it was, told your ass from the jump. Y'all be thinking you can and suck your way into love. And so he's saying jump, love, what it was. And then he says, yeah, what it was, jump, love. And when my mind don't change, I get accused of hurting feelings, but you hurt yourself. So this is when rappers sacrifice rhyming, just to be honest and candid. And then he says, but enough of stubborn women who be thinking they're too pretty to get curved. Bitch, I'm busy, I'm at work. So he's got curved, work, you not priority. I love the way Americans speak. So he says, you not priority. So he can use that and say, I cut 2 Bentleys and 2 Benzes during quarantine. Regulate my diet like I'm Warren G. And that is a simile, because Warren G, Nate Dogg, regulate, iconic track, West Coast hip hop. So he's saying, I regulate my diet like I'm Warren G. So he's talking about he takes care of himself, he keeps his diet good. Trying to keep my shirt off the whole tour. So I'm trying to be healthy, so I can keep my shirt off. And then hit the Florida Keys. So priority, quarantine, Warren G, Florida Keys. Plant an orange tree. So he's continued it. That's the fruits of my labor. So now he's giving us more rhymes. So labor, I'm from the generation where it isn't cool to be haters. You see, now he's starting something new. So when rappers do rhetorical questions, be prepared for them to switch it up. So he says, you see, social media made everyone think they're celebrities, but what have you really done that's worth celebrating? And everybody got the same personality and identities. So celebrities, identities. The sheep just multiply. This shit is devastating. So that's celebrating, devastating. And then he just ends with and embarrassing. And then he finishes. This is one hard flex. Let's count the rhymes. So according to my count, Russ has got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rhymes. At least 11 rhymes in one verse with no hook, and that's how he started off the album. Russ, this went crazy. This was absolutely crazy. I love this pen talk, and no one on No Ghostwriter is doubting your pen. I'm just gonna say that straight. We aren't doubting your pen, Russ. Chomp 2 went hard. Big pen talk. Big pen talk. So, last but never ever least, we've got 2 Chainz, who has dropped, honestly, just such a unnecessarily cold verse on Mortgage Free, which is a DJ Premier track. So shout out to DJ Premier, and shout out to 2 Chainz, because this one absolutely crazy. So this is 2 Chainz basically saying, look, I'm still winning, I'ma stay winning, I am the embodiment of the American dream, and it's just 2 Chainz on his success energy. He's saying, look, I am a mogul, I'm good, I'm healthy, my money is good. Like, it's a flex, and I like that. But there's an element of this where 2 Chainz is trying to, he's trying to give game to the youngins. He's trying to tell us, look, these are the goals that you need to have in life. Don't, in a similar way to what Russ was doing by talking about the social media age on Sheep from Chomp 2, you've got 2 Chainz really trying to communicate to people. And this is really what I have been talking about when I've been saying that with the pandemic, with everything, we are in the market for meaningful rap, and the rappers are trying to give us, really meaningful, statements and discussions about what we should be focusing on and how we can, constitute ourselves for success. And that's very much the theme of this track. So I want to talk about the producer and the beat. This beat is a DJ Premier beat. I don't know what to tell you. It is classic. Everything DJ Premier produces sounds classic. So let me put you on, because you need to know DJ Premier. He's one of hip-hop's most iconic producers. I'm gonna read you Premier beats. Nas's New York State of Mind, Notorious B.I.G. Kicking the Door, Joey Badass Paper Trails, Jay-Z The Evils, Nas is Like, 10 Crack Commandments Notorious B.I.G., Sandra's Rose Drake, Everything I Am Kanye, Represent Nas, Memory Lane Sitting in the Park. And I want to shout out to Genius for providing all of this biographical information and for helping out on some of the lyrics for today. So, Christopher Edward Martin, better known by his stage name DJ Premier, also known as Primo or Primo for short, is a record producer and DJ. He produced 6 albums as the instrumental half of the hip-hop duo Gang Starr, along with MC Guru. DJ Premier has been labeled by many as arguably the greatest producer in hip-hop history. Born in Houston and raised in Prairie View, Texas, he's lived in Brooklyn, New York for much of his professional career. Despite his southern roots, Premier became synonymous with intricate sampling and the boom bap sounds of East Coast hip hop in the 1990s. He's worked with some of the biggest names in hip hop, such as Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, Snoop Dogg, Scarface, Common, Drake, Dr. Dre, Kanye West, amongst others. He's also worked with R&B and pop artists such as Christina Aguilera, D'Angelo, and Miguel. DJ Premier also joined another group, forming P-Rhyme with Royce da 5'9". Listen, DJ Premier is one of the most iconic. I don't even think it requires any further introduction. So on this beat, it's boom bap, it's anthemic, and it's just it's supposed to be there for a rapper to really talk about their energy. Like, I could hear Nipsey on this beat. This is very much a Prem beat, and it goes hard. It goes dumb hard. So I'm very excited to get into it. So let's talk about it. Let's play the beat. Let's have a listen, and then we're gonna do some pen talk. Woo! All right. Crazy. I love this track. Like, honestly, this track has been solidly in my brain. So let's get into it. Let's do our pen talk breakdown. So I'm just gonna open up, make sure that we start. So let's start breaking down 2 Chainz' verse. So we've got the chorus: the goal in life is to be mortgage free, control your emotions, have integrity. So mortgage free, integrity. If you want to use my likeness, I need equity, and if you're really trying to win, you need to bet with me. The goal in life is to be mortgage free, control your emotions, have integrity. Okay, you get it. So he says, you can ask Charlie, been on a winning streak. So I'm gonna add that as a continuation of the rhyme in the chorus, which I think is cool. And he says, heard you was talking behind my back, so I didn't even speak. Surveillance on the same screen, I watch DVDs. When it comes to making plays, I'm the MVP. This flow's sicker than the CDC. And I want to talk about the alliteration there, because you've got sicker than the CDC. Sicker than the CDC, right? That's hard. Time to rent another yacht so I can see the sea. So he's done something similar to when Nicki said, got a plaque 9, call it BET, and our school hitters call it GED. School niggas get a GED, and I tease niggas making BG. Got a money fetish, I'm a fighter fetish. So like, I like that. CDC, and she also does that on Changed It. No, you can't bone it like, ain't no Lisa here. She going through a dissing Nicki like Lisa here. I buy little nigga, ain't no Lisa here. The bitch gambled her career, now it's gonna be severe. So C, I like that a lot. So this flows sicker than the CDC. Time to rent another yacht so I can see the sea. Sometimes I feel like poverty was a penalty. So he's still keeping it, but I love this. It's so tight. But life's a game, I'ma go for it when it's 4th and 3. I touch down, then I field goal. So now he's given us a new rhyme. So he says, I touch down, then I field goal. Mix it with some ice that make me feel cold. I had a spot where I can hide him in a vehicle, but when I meet him in Bucket, I'm driving real slow. 10 and 2 on the steering wheel. You based your life off IG, and that's a fairy tale. So that's a new one. I treat business like sex, I do it very well. I'm parked in the front of a place I own, parallel. So, oh, 2 Chainz, man. And then he carries on in verse 2. The American dream is to get a house, but for me, the American dream is to get an ounce. Sacking grams, watching Moesha sitting on the couch. I ain't worked this hard to get some millions just to lend it out. I remember my blue pit with the blue eyes. So he's giving you a new rhyme. I had a foreign and an old school, I had 2 rides. I just closed on a building, it's like Kroger size. The paperwork in my name just got it notarized. I bought my mama crib before I bought mines. Knew I was gonna be successful when I was about 9. Hanging on the block when it's drought time, where arguments can turn a body outline. Crazy bars. 2 Chainz. So the imagery, the flow is very consistent, and the way he rhymes is consistent, but I just want to talk about that smooth transition from the chorus and moving it into the first verse. So from my count, 2 Chainz has got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rhymes, but he's running that across 2 verses and a chorus, which he raps twice. My favorite, I don't know because it's so hard, but I think it might be Blue Eyes, 2 rides, Kroger size, notarized, bought mines, about 9, drought time, outline. Hard. Like, that was crazy, and the way he just keeps flowing it throughout. But I think my 2 favorites from this, it's gotta be the taking mortgage free and then everything rhymes with free, integrity, equity, bet with me, winning streak, speak, DVDs, MVP, CDC, so I can see, the C, penalty, 4th and 3. Like, that is hard, and everything he's saying is so relevant to this success, this idea of like stay focused. That CDC, so I can see the C. Stop. The cultural relevance of it all. CDC, we're in the middle of a panoramic, and then so I can see the C, just playing on the CDC with that alliteration, just too hard. So I just want to say shout out to 2 Chainz. This was some very hard pen talk, like very hard track, very good. I very much enjoyed it, and I loved this. And you know what, 2 Chainz, you are a rap legend, and you know it's worthwhile that we start giving you that energy. And hearing you rapping over a DJ Premier beat was just icing on the cake. Absolutely loved it. All right, so let's talk about my favorite bars from all of this. So I've got some rankings. So I think number 1, I'm thinking who's number 1, because everyone really brought heat today. Everyone brought heat today. I think it's okay. So number five is Russ with I caught 2 Bentleys and 2 Benzes during quarantine. Regulate my diet like I'm Warren G. Trying to keep my shot off the whole tour, then hit the Florida Keys. Plant an orange tree. Yeah, that was hard. So that's number 5. I think number 4 is BIA with There's no cap in my raps. I've been ready for smoke, but still none of these bitches will clap back. I want to slap who will write in your shit. I feel bad for all the people that be liking that shit. So that was hard. There's no cap in my raps. Yeah, that was hard. That's number 4. Number 3, I'm just looking at 2 Chainz. I think number 3 is 2 Chainz saying, yeah, it's the... He's done so many that I really liked, but it's the, yeah, what am I talking about? It's when it comes to making plays, I'm the MVP. This flow's sicker than the CDC. Time to rent another yacht so I can see the sea. Nah, that's crazy. So that's number 3. Number 2, this is difficult because everyone brought it. Someone's going twice. I think I love the message in Mortgage Free and Sheep, but I think it's BIA. Honestly, I think number are we on number 2? Yeah, number 2 is BIA, verse 2 on Motionless. I'll probably never trust a man or a boy that's a friend because I never had a father, and I would have told my mom's younger self make it out because you would have made it father, but I guess it's God's plan because she had a superstar for a daughter. And how I talk to my friends every day, but right now I gotta call her. Yeah, that moved me like internally. I loved that one. And so number one pen talker for this edition of Pen Talk, number 1 pen talker is Che Noir with I was schooled for this. Back when the biggest rapper was Ludacris, my pen was doing voodoo tricks. Crazy. Che Noir and Bless the Food takes the top spot for this week's Pen Talk. It just went crazy. It absolutely went crazy. So shout out to Che Noir. Shout out to everyone, and I just really enjoyed everyone's bars. I think everybody really brought it, and I liked the underlying theme of, like, you know, just stay focused on what's important. I feel like being in the middle of what we're in globally, these are important messages for us to hear. So shout out to you guys. So that brings us to the end of this week's Pen Talk. I hope you enjoyed this edition of the series. Make sure that you check out our Patreon if you want to see what our favorite bars were from all of the tracks we looked at today. We're gonna pick our top 5 and see who comes out on top between Che Noir, BIA, 2 Chainz, and Russ. And if you are watching all of our social media as well, we'll be posting our favorite bars in a few weeks' time, so you'll see them eventually. But make sure that you follow _ghostwriter on Instagram and Twitter, and follow No Ghostwriter on TikTok. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you don't miss a post from us, and make sure that you subscribe to our Patreon like I said. So we will see you soon. Click the link in the description for information on our upcoming live event where we have a rap cypher where we invite rappers and yourself to come through and spit bars, and you can also watch online. And we will see you soon and for another video. I've been Blessing Makosha, your host. Deuces.